Rako, Hutu, Dakodu, Eli, Trabomo, Moshihe, Vedgar, Id, Stro, Brenu Kendi, Aliv, Zvide, Dezu, Kvindal, Fur, Takinu, Seli, Dekto, Yiltre, Enter, Vester, Kile, Gah! When did you come in?
A moment ago.
I didn't hear a thing.
You're being discreet.
So what have you got for me?
We've come with a question.
Well, out with it.
Where exactly should Mr. Pillar here log the incoming correspondence?
Well, Madam Deputy Director, how would it be if he entered it in the incoming correspondence logbook?
It's full, isn't it, Mr. P?
Alrighty. My goodness, then how about getting a new one?
We don't have the funds for a new one, do we, Mr. P?
Why not? Didn't the quarterly plan call for 2 logbooks?
It did, but because of the economy drive, our projected expenses were reduced by 50% across the board, so we can only purchase 1 logbook. And as I said, that one is full.
Here, buy a new one.
Thank you, Mr. Director. Many thanks. Good morning.
Shelley,
Yes, Mr. Director.
any idea what this is?
Well, this is a very important official memorandum, Mr. Director.
Looks like a random bunch of letters to me.
At first sight, maybe, but it has very strict rules of its own. It's written in Petita Pay.
In what?
Petita Pay?
Petita Pay. What's that?
It's the new official language. They're introducing it into our agency. May I go get some milk?
Why wasn't I told about this?
They probably forgot. May I go get some milk?
Whose idea was it?
It's obviously part of some broader campaign. Flora told me they were bringing it into her agency as well.
Does the Deputy Director know about this?
Yes. May I go get some milk?
You again.
We've come to inform you that we just bought the new logbook. It's on Mr. Pillar's desk, isn't it, Mr. P?
Terrific.
But the authentication department refuses to authenticate.
What's their problem?
The new logbook wasn't acquired through the purchasing department because it wasn't purchased through the official funds. So legally, it doesn't exist. That's it, Mr. P.
Tell them to authenticate it on my authority. I believe I'm in a position to do that.
Wonderful. Could you give that to us in writing? Just to simplify things.
Look, I enjoy taking the odd risk, but I'm not completely crazy. You'll have to do it on my say-so.
Okay, we'll try to sweet talk them. Let's go, Mr. P.
Madam Deputy Director,
Yes, Mr. Director.
do you know anything about this new language?
I heard something about it. I believe Mr. Pillar here mentioned a while ago. It was you who told me, wasn't it, Mr. P?
You don't happen to know who issued the directive to authorize its use in this agency, do you?
The directive? Mr. P, do you know who issued the directive?
It wasn't me, so it must have been you, Madam Deputy.
One issues in so many directives in a course of a day that it's hard to remember them all.
Did it not occur to you to consult with me on the matter?
We didn't want to bother you with the trivialities.
Madam Deputy Director, you are impossible.
It won't happen again.
What's the point of this new language anyway?
It's a kind of experiment. It's meant to make the official communications more precise and regularize the terminology. Is that the right way to put it, Mr. P?
Did the order come from upstairs?
Not directly.
To tell you the truth, I'm not very keen on this. Promise me you'll find an appropriate way to put a stop to this by the end of the day. We will not be guinea pigs in someone else's experiment.
I'll present all the documents that were issued in Petita Pay and have them translated back into the natural language. Good morning.
I'd really appreciate that.
We will not be guinea pigs in someone else's experiment.
My sentiments exactly.
Let's go, Mr. P.
May I?
Go right ahead, Mr. Director.
Strange relationship, those two.
I could tell you a thing or two.
I don't want to know. They're both exemplary workers, and that's all that concerns me. Stroke of luck, I managed to stop this thing in time. Did they actually think anyone was going to learn this gobbledygook?
They've set up a special Petita Pay training center.
You're kidding. And is anyone actually taking courses?
Everyone but you, Mr. Director.
You don't say.
They made it mandatory.
Who made it mandatory?
The Deputy Director.
What? She said nothing about that. I don't understand how my staff is expected to work in Petita Pay when most of them haven't even learned it yet.
That's what the translation center is for. But they say that's only only a temporary arrangement until everyone learns petite pay, and then they'll convert it into a petite pay help desk. Can I go for some rolls?
Well, how about that? A translation center, and would you mind telling me where they put it?
Second floor, number 6.
But that's the accounts department.
They moved the accounts department in the basement.
I suppose that was Balish's idea as well.
Yes.
That's way out of line.
Can I go for some rolls?
Go ahead. What is it now?
Mr. Director, you're gonna have to give us that order in writing after all.
Like hell I will. Why not ask your buddies upstairs?
It's in your own interest.
What do you mean in my own interest?
If you sign it, it'll make the staff work much easier. They won't have to create a special documentary record for every letter. And given the talk that's been going around in the office, it wouldn't be seen as a politic move on your part.
What talk?
You know, the unfortunate business with the missing rubber stamp.
What about it?
During the most recent performance review, it came out that you occasionally took home the agency's rubber stamp for your children to play with.
That's absolute nonsense. Sure, I sometimes take home the rubber stamp with me. That's true. But certainly not for my children to play with. I sometimes take homework I haven't time to do within office hours.
Mr. Director, you don't have to explain that to us, but you know how people are.
And you think if I sign this thing, the matter will be dropped?
I can guarantee it.
Fine. Write me out the order and bring it to me for
I have it right here, Mr. Director. Thank you, dear Mr. Director. Our sincerest thanks on behalf of the entire agency.
By the way, Madam Deputy,
Was there something else, Mr. Director?
have you put a stop to this petite pay thing?
Not yet.
Why not?
Well, we're waiting for the right moment. We hear that the atmosphere upstairs isn't ready for it just now. We wouldn't want this to come back and haunt us in any other way, would we, Mr. P?
Excuses, excuses.
Mr. Director, you don't believe us, and that is very hurtful.
You go behind my back, you have the accounts department moved into the basement.
Mr. Director, that's only half the truth.
What's the other half?
Well, I've ordered the proper ventilation to be installed starting next year. Mr. Pill will confirm that, won't you, Mr. P?
And what about lighting?
The assistant accountant brought candles from home.
You've got to be kidding.
Tell him, Mr. P. Did you bring the candles from home? Mr. Pill doesn't know anything about it. You can go down there and see for yourself.
All the same, you went behind my back. You set up a petite pay training center, a translation department, and you made petite pay mandatory for everyone.
Only after office hours.
What difference does that make?
I'm very well aware that I mustn't go behind your back on official matters, but surely I am my own master outside of office hours.
Just at the moment, I'm not quite sure how to respond to that, but I'm sure that some crushing response will present itself.
Perhaps it will, perhaps it won't, but at this point in time, our primary concern is nothing more and nothing less than the best interest of our agency. Right, Mr. P? Naturally, we share your critical view of petite pay. We merely believe that if we show some positive initiative before the whole experiment, as it inevitably will, comes crashing down, it will stand us in good stead. And who knows? We might finally get the new cafeteria we've been requesting for so long.
That might be one way of getting us the new cafeteria, but it doesn't alter the fact that you've gone behind my back several times and that recently you've been doing far too many things on your own initiative.
Me? Excuse me, Mr. Director. We come to you for advice. We consult with you on the tiniest matters, like the new logbook. You are doing us an injustice, a grave injustice.
Madam Deputy Director, may I suggest something?
And what would that be?
Just for the moment, let's be completely frank with each other. It will make the situation much clearer, and our positions will be a lot clearer as well.
Shall we agree to this, Mr. P? I accept.
Why did you say that you had a critical opinion of petite pay and that your sole concern was for a new cafeteria when in fact it's perfectly clear that you believe in petite pay and you want to ensure its introduction as swiftly as possible?
It was a ploy.
A little short-sighted, wouldn't you say?
No, I wouldn't.
You must have known I'd see through your intentions sooner or later.
Here's the thing. We needed to play for time. We knew that you'd try to stop us, but our aim was to keep you from understanding our true intentions until we felt sure we could successfully overcome your resistance. Now, there's nothing you can do to stop us. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. P?
But I'm the one who bears the responsibility for this agency. Confidence has been placed in me, and therefore it's up to me to determine what's in the best interest for this agency and what is not. I'm still the director here.
You can't get around the will of the majority. The entire agency is in uproar and waiting for the word from you.
I will not be dictated to by a mob.
You can call it a mob, but we call it a majority.
Call it a majority if you like, but it's still a mob. I'm a humanist, and my conception of running this agency derives from the idea that every employee is a human being who must become ever more human. But if we deprive that employee from his or her language, a language that has evolved over centuries, we cast him or her directly into the jaws of alienation. Speaking from my most deeply held conviction, I will never consent to the introduction of Patita Pen.
You're willing to risk open conflict?
I consider the struggle for reason and morality more important than peace at any price.
What do you make of this, Mr. P?
I suggest that we both forget what has just transpired here and that we part in peace before I'm forced to take this whole thing very seriously indeed.
I heard it through the grapevine.
It would appear that the time isn't quite right for such a substantive discussion. We expected too much of him. No matter. We'll give him another, what would you say? Another hour. Time is on our side. In an hour, the gloves come off. The patience of the majority is great, but not infinite. He will regret this. Let's go, Mr. P.
Unbelievable! Shelley,
Yes, Mr. Director?
you understand Petita Pay.
No.
How did you know this was an official memorandum?
They say that initially, Petita Pay is only being used to write certain official memoranda, which are now being gradually distributed to agency directors.
What are they about?
I hear them meant to inform these directors about the results of the most recent performance reviews in their departments.
Seriously, what were the results like?
Apparently, they range all the way from the very positive to the very negative.
Damn that rubber stamp. Where'd you get all this from?
I heard it in the corner store.
Where'd you say that translation center was?
Second floor, number 6. But you have to go through the Petita Pay Training Center to get to it.
Right, the former accounts department. I'm going for lunch.
They're serving goose today, Mr. Director. Enjoy!
Petita Pay, as you know, is a synthetic language constructed on strictly scientific principles. It has a highly rational grammar and an extraordinarily broad vocabulary. It is an utterly exact language, capable of expressing all the subtle, formulaic nuances of important official communication. One consequence of this precision, however, is that Petita Pay is very complex and difficult. Many months of intensive work lie before you, but above all, you must believe. No one has ever yet learned Petita Pay without an unshakable belief in Petita Pay itself. And now, briefly, to some of the basic principles of Petita Pay. As you know, natural languages arose spontaneously, uncontrollably, unscientifically, as it were, and thus their structure betrays a certain amateurism. The most serious deficiency of natural languages is their utter unreliability, which stems from the fact that their basic structural units, words, they are highly equivocal and interchangeable. As you know in natural languages, it is often enough to change a single letter, as in brain, brain, or tool, fool, or to remove a single letter, as in goat, out, and we've completely changed the meaning. And this is not to mention the homonyms. Think of the potential embarrassment that could arise over the course of workplace interaction when two words of completely different meaning but identical pronunciation are confused. P-O-S-S-U-M. Possum. 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 The first designates an American small arboreal or aquatic nocturnal marsupial with thumb-tined foot. The second, the Latin equivalent of iron able. Such a thing is unthinkable in Petit-de-Paix. By limiting the number of mutual similarities between words, Petit-de-Paix guarantees that every official communication will achieve a degree of precision, reliability, and clarity that is simply unattainable in any natural language. It operates on the following principles. If words are to differentiate each other in as much as possible, they must be assembled from the least probable combination of letters. Now, how does Petit-de-Paix achieve this? Very simply, by the consistent application of the principle of so-called 60% dissimilarity. This means that any word in Petit-de-Paix must differ in its letter content by 60% of any other Petit-de-Paix word of the same length. So, for example, of all the possible 5-letter combinations of the 26 letters of the alphabet, of which there are 11,881,376 possible permutations, one may find 432 that mutually differ by at least 3 letters. That is, by 60%. Of those 432, 17 of them meet other requirements, and thus they may be used as Petit-de-Paix words. From this, it is also very clear why in Petit-de-Paix text we often encounter words that are very long.
Excuse me.
Yes,
Can you tell us what the longest Petit-de-Paix word is?
certainly, it is a word for a wombat, and it is 319 letters. But to continue, how does Petit-de-Paix overcome the challenge of readability and pronounceability with such long words? Very simply, here and there, within the letters, between the words, there are spaces. So that each word is thus created by a number of so-called sub-words of varying length. But the length is not left to chance. The vocabulary of Petit-de-Paix is based on an entirely logical principle. The more general the meaning, the shorter the word. So, for example, the most general concept that we have, the one expressed by the word whatever, is rendered in Petit-de-Paix by the word gah. That is a word that is only 2 letters. There are, of course, shorter words in Petit-de-Paix, such as the word But for the time being, this word has no meaning. Can anyone tell me why? Well, Miss Galouche.
I think that it's kept in reserve for the possibility that science will one day discover a notion even more general than whatever.
Excellent! Top marks.
myself with the operations of the Translation Center. I'm the director.
You're the director!
Yes, Grosh, Andrew Grosh.
Well, delighted. Sorry I didn't recognize you. I've only been here for a short time. Haven't got around to meeting everybody yet. I'm Masha, director of the translation department. Please, have a seat, have a seat. You know, we're still taking her first baby steps here.
I understand.
You know, still grappling with some growing pains.
Of course, of course.
You know, it's not easy.
Naturally.
So what is it you wanted to know exactly?
I'd like to know how you've organized the translation process. Do you do translations on a while-you-wait basis?
Well, we translate every Petite Pay text while you wait for every agency employee who's a citizen of this country and has a valid Petite Pay translation permit.
You need a special permit.
Hello, John. Is it true they're serving goose for lunch today?
Goose?
That's what the boys in the secretariat said. I'll come back later and we can go together, okay?
And don't be late, Doctor. Goose. Goose is my favorite. Where were we?
You were saying you needed a special permit for translation.
Right, so here's how it works. We bureaucrats may use Petite Pay, all right, but we're not experts in the matter. We're simply not linguists. Therefore, the proper use and development of Petite Pay cannot be left to us alone. Or if it was, that would lead to spontaneous evolution, and it is quite possible that in our hands, Petite Pay could turn into a natural living language. And if that happened, well, we'd be right back where we started.
Wasn't Sydney just here?
I don't know, who's that?
So you're a stranger in town.
On the contrary, I'm the director of this agency.
Oh, you're him! Darling, you have got to do something about getting us that new cafeteria, really. The girls have to go to hell and back just for a snack. Doesn't anyone around here care about people?
And you are who?
I'm the chairperson, but you can call me Tally.
Chairperson of what, if I may be so bold?
Don't know yet. We're having a meeting about it today. But I've got work like you wouldn't believe. You hardly have time to look around you and they expect you to have all their crap sorted out for them. See you later.
You like goose?
I do. You were saying that Petite Pay couldn't just be left to the bureaucrats.
All right. That's why in every agency that's introducing Petite Pay is provided a special Petite Pay methodologist called Petitibus, whose job it is to monitor the proper use of Petite Pay.
Hello.
Hello?
Part of the Petitibus's job description is to issue a special permit for every translation,
Here, the onion counter director.
which allows us to keep track of all the translations,
Put them over there in the filing cabinet.
and which allows us to generate differential statistics.
So, if I understand correctly, you provide translations only to those who have a special permit from the agency Petitibus.
You got it.
Ready?
Where's my knife for?
And who is our Petitibus?
These been cleaned.
Of course.
Pardon me?
Who is the Petitibus here?
Miss Kinseva!
My pleasure, Grosh, the director.
Sydney Kunseva, I'm the licensed petitipus. It's the equivalent of having a doctorate.
In that case, Dr. Kunseva, I need to talk to you.
Are we gonna find out the wishbone again?
I'm sorry, Mr. Director, but we really need to get to lunch. I wouldn't want to miss it. I prefer the thigh myself.
You don't happen to have a cigarette, do you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't smoke.
What's that?
Cigars?
May I have one?
They belong to Mash Dad. He keeps track of them. He's very upset. Reports?
Guess who?
I beg your pardon?
You have to guess.
Take your hands off me at once!
Guess.
Mr. District Inspector.
No.
Mr. Inspector General.
No.
Jerry?
No.
All right, Boris.
Wrong again.
Cut the crap, Jerry. This is a stupid joke.
Do you give up?
Yes.
Oh! I'm sorry, Mr. Director. I thought you were Sydney Kunseva. Hasn't she shown up yet?
I'm sorry. She's at lunch.
What a way to behave.
Oh, for God's sake, I was just having a little fun. I'll be back in a while. Ciao.
You don't happen to have a cigarette, do you?
You've already asked me that, Mr. Director.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
Of course.
What difference would it make to him?
Done to perfection, wasn't it?
Don't you think it was better the last time?
Oh, the meat wasn't quite moist enough last time. The absolute best time to cook.
Dr. Kunsaba.
Go ask Mr. Polacek before lunch if not sending his doctor.
Dr. Kunsaba.
Oh, not bad, eh?
That's very sweet.
A regular little tiger.
Dr. Kunsaba.
Give me a break, a little tiger.
What is it?
You're the one who issues permits to translate from Petite Bay, right?
To everyone who presents valid documentation.
And by that, you mean what documentation?
Personal documentation. ID. Oh, thank you.
Do you think I could buy one of your cigarettes?
Well, I'd love to, but I've only got 3 left.
Well, in that case, what exactly do you need this personal documentation for?
Not a little tiger. One hell of a big tiger. Just catch her by her toe. Say again?
What exactly do you need this personal documentation for?
Let me explain. The fact is, I work in this office. But at the same time, I am not a bureaucrat. I am, as you know, a scientist. Not only that, I'm an entirely new breed of scientist. Because everything to do with Petite Bay is entirely new. And then, of course, I have a number of reservations about the slightly bureaucratic practices of my bureaucratic colleagues. In fact, they're not so much reservations. They're more in the nature of objections. No! Objections isn't quite the right word for it. How shall I put it? Bear with me, I'm used to speaking in Petite Bay, and I'm having a hard time finding the right words in the natural language.
Take as much time as you need.
In Petite Bay, we would say axiones. Sometimes my bureaucratic colleagues are to elude cabos padi el, and at the same time they completely forget that etruka is unique aitige kipo.
Oh, Abby has funny gum up me.
Hago cabrazon. I think they can send me somebody that I'll give him a stamp and I'll be the end of it. If our statistics are to mean anything at all, they have to be based on something concrete. We have to know as much as possible about anyone who comes in contact with the cheetah bag.
Wouldn't it be enough if everyone just told you whatever you needed to know about them?
But then I'd have no guarantee that everything would be truly put.
I beg your pardon.
Put. Accurate.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Holacek says he'll definitely be going to lunch today.
Excuse me, but you are speaking about the unreliability of oral information.
Ah, yes, and at the same time, all this information about the individual employee has been recorded far more precisely and without a subjective Sextohite. Oh, I'm sorry, subjective point of view.
I understand I have my own rather hoot-put sextohite about it.
Sextohite, tet. You've forgotten that every noun modified by the adjective put takes on the suffix tet.
Or tete.
Exactly, or tete. It's a very common mistake. Even Mr. Balzaman in his letter was.
Excuse me, but you are speaking about the advantages of written personal documentation over...
Ah, yes, and at the same time, there are things included in this personal documentation to which the employee in question is completely unaware.
Oh, zapami deki triple zaduha.
Oh, Nicky,
So, let me make sure I have this straight. You issue translation permits only to those who present you with their documentation. And where exactly can the employee get the documentation?
Hi guys! Guess who's got a birthday today? Tommy Todd.
Tommy, no kidding.
There's a get-together right next door. I hear they have bananas across the street. Bring me a dozen or two.
What are they drinking?
Shivas. Hear that, Jen?
Excuse me, but you still haven't told me where an employee can get his or her documentation.
Right here from Delora, the chairperson.
Ma'am,
I've left it.
I need to talk to you.
Can't it wait?
You're leaving me here on my own.
You're not alone. There's a peephole in the wall, and our official monitor watches us through it.
Why does he use a peephole?
Well, if he were actually in the room, he'd be at a real disadvantage. Because then he could only watch one office at a time, you see. This way, he could monitor 5 at once. He has a little closet surrounded by 5 offices, and each one has a peephole. So all he has to do is go from one peephole to the other.
Interesting idea.
Isn't it? I came up with it all by myself. My point was that if there doesn't happen to be anyone in the office, clients wouldn't have to sit on their bums out in the corridor. Even in little things like that, you've got to keep people's needs in mind. See you later.
Don't bother looking for it. The people is well concealed.
So I see. You could introduce this in other departments as well.
Hard to do. An architect has to design these things in a planning stage.
I guess you're right. But he didn't plan for it in advance here.
No, but he made a mistake in the plans. And when they finished the building, they found this extra space between the offices, and this is how they put it to use.
Really? What a creative solution. What is it?
I forgot my bag.
Miss,
Yes?
can you read Petit Pay?
A little.
And can you also translate?
It's strictly forbidden until I pass the final exams.
But if I were to order you to, could you translate something, even roughly? What's so funny?
You don't understand. It's simply not possible.
What's your name?
Alice?
Oh, Alice. Alice in Wonderland. It's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
Alice, just this once. No one will ever know.
Mr. Director, be reasonable. Anyone could just walk in here.
Sweet Alice, please.
Any minute now, the bananas are going to be sold out. The chairperson will be very upset. Goodbye.
Mr. Monitor. Mr. Monitor. Mr. Monitor, can you hear me? Have you got a cigarette? He's probably asleep.
What do you mean he's asleep?
So why didn't you answer?
I was testing you.
How dare you? Do you know who I am? I'm the director.
Habuk Bulugan.
What'd you say?
Habuk Bulugan Avrator.
What the hell are you talking about?
Nutpult.
I will not be insulted. I expect you to come and apologize to me.
Gutra.
So, what about it?
What about what?
The hour is up. Have you come to your senses?
No.
But you noticed, I hope, that the introduction of Petita Pays proceeding smoothly. What do you want to do?
I want to put it on hold.
Mr. Director, may I go for some peanuts?
And how do you intend to do that?
I will order an immediate stop to the introduction and use of Petit Pay at once.
You can't do that.
Why can't I?
You never ordered its introduction in the first place, so there's nothing for you to stop.
Then you'll do it.
But I never gave such order either, did I, Mr. B?
Mr. Director, may I go for some peanuts?
What do you mean you never gave the order?
There was nothing on paper, but it did depend on the promise that you would provide the written confirmation.
So then I simply won't provide the written confirmation.
Mr. Director, I never open up! The introduction of Petite Pay is going full steam ahead and will, of course, continue on without it. Or not.
Then I'll send a report on the whole affair upstairs.
You still gotta run that everyone upstairs is a real kind of
If they're such fans of Petite Pay, why don't they order all the agencies to use it?
Oh, just to cover themselves. If Petite Pay succeeds, they'll have time to take credit for it. And if it bombs, they'll have deniability and the blame falls on the lower echelon.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to betray my own principles.
But you will.
How will you make me?
You see that logbook? Not long ago, it was authenticated on your illicit order, even though it wasn't authorized through the purchasing department, and is therefore your own private property. Do you know what that is? That's an abuse of your official powers.
You ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
Mr. P, are we or are we not ashamed of ourselves? Of course we're not. Where people's interests are concerned, we have no reason to feel ashamed of anything that we do.
But you forced me to sign that thing.
Forced you? I don't recall that we forced.
You remember all the insinuations about the missing rubber stamp?
I wouldn't bring that up if I were you.
Why not?
You mean you still don't get it? If it hadn't been for the business with the missing rubber stamp, you could claim that you signed the authentication of the logbook out of goodwill towards our employees. And while it wouldn't excuse you, it would at least provide a human explanation for your actions. Whereas if you bring up the incident with the missing rubber stamp, you'd be admitting that you signed the order out of pure cowardice solely in order to bury any justifiable questions about the affair of the missing rubber stamp. So as you see, both of your misdemeanors are so uniquely and inextricably intertwined that one of them multiplies the effect of the other. And by making public the circumstances you happen to think are extenuating, would in fact leave no one in any doubt whatsoever for the real motives of your actions. So, can we come to an understanding here?
I see. All right then, I'll resign.
But that's precisely what we don't want.
So what do you want of me?
We want you to sign the order, confirming the use and introduction of Petite Pay in our agency.
But you just said that Petite Pay would go ahead even without a written order, so why do you need it now?
That's our business.
Do you think that Petite Pay would actually make official communications more precise?
You know, I'm glad that this conversation has finally gotten back on track. Mr. P, give the director a drink. So here's the thing. You more than most know how many apparent misunderstandings, insults, and injustice a single sentence in natural language can contain. After all, in natural language, a more or less precise and clear official notion. Let's say the notion of severance, for instance, can acquire so many wrong-headed, one might even say, emotional overtones. So now tell me sincerely, does the word murex carry such emotional baggage? There you see, it's paradoxical. But it's this apparent dehumanization and artificial language that precisely guarantees its humane function. When Petite Pay is in full use, no one again will ever be plagued by the illusion that he or she has been mistreated. And so everyone will be far happier as a result. Salty, not salty.
Okay. I guess you've convinced me. Write me out the retroactive order introducing Petite Pay in this agency and bring it to me for my signature.
Mr. Director, we are thrilled that you understood the imperatives of the situation. We look forward to continuing our work under your judicious leadership. Here's the order you requested. very closely.
It's going to be absolutely necessary. Without your help, I'll have a hard time getting my way around this new set of problems. At the beginning, it might even
I
be
have an even better idea. Why don't I be the director and you be the deputy director? I mean, wouldn't that be simpler?
But you just said you were looking forward to working under my judicious leadership.
You'll find plenty of room of being judicious as deputy director. I'm going for my things, and in the meantime, Mr. Deputy Director, would you kindly clear your things off my desk?
As you wish, Madam Director.
Let's go, Mr. P.
The pace of events seems to have picked up rather rapidly.
Mr. Deputy?
What else could I have done? Open resistance would have meant the end of me. This way, at least as deputy, I might still be able to salvage something.
Mr. Deputy Director?
And who's to say that Petite Pay might not turn into something rather useful one day? If the whole thing is handled intelligently, I can...
Mr. Deputy Director?
What is it?
Can I go for lunch?
Why can't I just be a little boy again? I do things quite differently.
Historically, the natural languages arose, in all probability, the development of the inarticulate shrieks, by which primitive creatures express their basic reactions to the surrounding world. The very oldest group of words is thus the interjections. The interjections form an unusually easy part of PDP, which is quite obvious, as their frequency in inter-office communication is rather limited. For this reason, the interjections will form the first few parts of our curriculum. Let us proceed. As an example, I'd like to demonstrate to you through the renderings of the interjection. How rich and precise PDP is, even in this marginal sphere.
Mr. Instructor,
What is it?
pardon me for interrupting, but I just happen to have here a very brief text written in Petite Pay. Don't you think it would be a good...
Of various ordinary everyday activities, you might be
Ad ok utuked, ilie, nobet, ehosuma, rahadav, ladvanik, ref, ilies. You know Petita Pay, don't you? Well, isn't it time that you learned it yet?
Pardon me for interrupting. Vic! Can I see you for a moment?
Vic?
Excuse me.
When did you come in?
A moment ago.
What do you want?
I was supposed to come see you today about my severance.
I've got no time right now. I'll come back in a while.
Sorry, thanks, I will.
What do you want?
Good morning.
Morning. Shelley,
Yes, Madam Director.
you know Petita Pay, don't you?
Unfortunately, no.
You don't? But I thought you went to the Petita Pay introduction.
I did, but I had to give up. Can I go for milk?
And why'd you have to give it up?
I wasn't good enough. Can I go for milk?
You should be ashamed of yourself. You're the director's secretary and you can't even learn Petita Pay?
Can I go for milk?
Go on. I hope that's not how you end up.
Greetings, Madam Director. Can you lend me Vic here for a while?
Oh, by all means. Don't mind me.
Thank you, my friend.
Vic.
Excuse me.
You again.
You said come back in a
I
while?
meant a longer while.
Sorry, I'll come back later.
By the way,
Yes, Madam Director?
forget it.
Is there something I can do?
No. You can go. What did you want? I don't like her addressing you so intimately. Is Petita Pay really that hard to learn?
Oh, you need a really good memory, Madam Director.
But the others have managed to learn it.
Actually, very few have managed, Madam Director. Most people have had to drop out.
Even if everyone else gave up, you should have stuck to it.
You dropped out yourself, Madam Director, after the very first lesson.
That's different. I had to interrupt my studies for professional reasons. Maybe you think managing this mega agency is a piece of cake, especially now.
Petita Pay is really incredibly difficult, Madam Director. And they're even saying... it's based on questionable principles. Can I go for muffins?
Wait a minute. Who told you that?
Mr. Pillar told me.
He most certainly did not. And even if he did, he was making a joke. So then who in this office actually knows Petita Pay?
Only the instructor and our colleagues in the translation center, Madam Director. Can I go for muffins?
There, you see, and they say it's beyond reach of ordinary mortals.
Can I go for muffins?
Run along. You got a big mouth. A very big mouth.
Hi, guys.
Vic, would you mind? See you later. Oh, give him his goddamn Vic!
Excuse me.
You again.
You said I should come back in a while.
Still too short of a while.
Sorry, I'll come back later.
By the way,
Yes, Madam Director?
forget it.
Is there something I can do?
I just wanted to tell you that I went a little too far yesterday. You know how it is. There were a lot of people there, and I didn't know who they all were, and my nerves are a bit on edge with everything that's been going on.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you, but you're still letting me go, right?
Letting you go? Well, maybe now we won't have to resort to such drastic measures. Naturally, you can't be the deputy director anymore, of course.
Of course.
But I might have a position open for you.
Really what?
The position of monitor has just opened up.
Do you think I'm up to the job?
We I'll put you on probation and see how it goes.
That's very kind of you, Madam Director. When can I start?
How about right now?
Thank you, Madam Director. Thank you most sincerely.
What does she want? Don't play games with me! Who's been saying that Petita Pay is based on doubtful principles?
Everyone but you, Madam Director.
You're exaggerating.
Really?
And what else have they been saying?
That you'll come around, that it's only a matter of time.
Well, that's typical. After all I've done for them? Can you at least tell me what this might be about?
It could either be a memo about the most recent performance review,
Highly unlikely.
or it's a protest.
A protest? What about?
Oh, I don't know.
What makes you think that this is a protest?
They say that protests written in Petita Pay are given top priority.
And where'd you hear that?
I heard it in the bakery.
Well, if everyone thinks they can just up and write a protest letter, then I'm going to lunch.
They're serving goulash today, Madam Director, and
And now I'll mention, just to get you oriented, some of the most common Petita Pay interjections. For example, is Zuckerbier. Is Bakur. Is Hefty the Retter. Wow is Polypack use. The expression of mild surprise. My is Zeke, but the slightly more emphatic. My is not Zeke Zeke, as some students erroneously believe, but Zeke Zim. Holy smokes! It's very Lugoff boring laugh. Whoopee to express excitement is Hetidex Uyama, but whoopee to suggest possibly a sexual act. As in, making whoopee is Malou's wrong. Oy vey is Hatam.
Sir,
Yes.
can you tell me how to say whoopsie daisy in Petita Pay?
My cat
Thank you.
is seventh up. Is Vermil. The poetic invocation, is Hulugip. And our very important word, hooray, is Fringo Yep that books I'll tap D Sabet of God Thraxes. And now, briefly, a test of your memory. Holy smokes. Miss Garouche.
Very Lugoff, Bori Boff.
Oy vey. Miss Garouche.
Hatum.
Miss Garouche.
Seventh up.
Whoopee.
To suggest excitement?
No. To suggest, as in, making whoopee. Miss Garouche.
Malaz Rog.
Maloo's bar. Maloo. Now, listen carefully. Maloo.
Maluz.
Your pronunciation is going to the dogs, Miss Garouche. How do you say my?
Zeke.
And my?
Zeke Zeke.
Zeke Zim!
I'm sorry, I forgot. Zeke Zim.
Uma. How about, oh my God?
I'm sorry, but we haven't gotten that far yet.
That's no excuse. The fact is, you don't know. Hooray!
Fringo Dever to Google Tap T Sabara Golf Terexes.
Gauze Drexes!
I meant cause Terexes.
Such an important little word. No, Miss Garouche. This is not how we get ahead here. I have invested so much hope in you, and you turn around. What? Well, you've disappointed me. Yes, indeed, you have disappointed me. No, Miss Garouche. We certainly can't. What? I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Let us proceed. Hello, student. Proceed.
I got your onions, Madam Director.
Just put them over there in the filing cabinet.
It looks good on you. Relax, it's me, Grosh.
Where are you?
I'm the monitor now.
You? A monitor?
Yes, Balish backed off firing me and gave me this job. I'm just on probation so far.
You? No.
Really, and as a matter of fact, under the circumstances, it's the best possible solution. I just have to get used to this tight space.
Well, and just when I managed to finally find you a new job.
Really, what is it?
In the theater.
But I'm not an actor.
Oh, you could handle a small part. They're always looking for spear carriers, you know, a servant, a messenger, a worker, something. And at the very least, you could be, well, a prompter.
As a last resort, maybe. So, you know people in the theater?
My brother's a producer.
That's very kind of you. Alice,
Yes?
it's strange. I can't stop looking at you.
Mr. Grosh.
I hear they have lines in across the street. Bring me a dozen or so. Are you there?
Of course, Madam Director.
So, how's it going?
Well, thank you.
Lots of people we don't know?
3 appointments in number 5.
Were they ever alone?
One was, for a
And
while,
how did he behave?
properly.
Good. I think you're gonna be all right. And otherwise?
What do you mean, otherwise?
Well, what are the employees saying among themselves about Petita Pay?
I'm awfully sorry, Madam Director, but how can I put this? That's not really I'm not really you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. You're saying you're not going to tell me. You're saying that you're still a prisoner of the old ways. But you have to understand that this is serving a good cause. It's even in your moral responsibility in a way. Just a moment. Is that clear?
It's clear, Madam Director.
So, how's the translation coming?
Very well.
How many texts have you translated?
Into Petite Bay or from Petite Bay?
Let's say into Petite Bay.
One. I'm working on the second.
That's it?
I mean, that's actually quite a lot.
Just a moment. Why is it taking you so long?
Well, each expression in Petite Bay has several variants, and we can consult the author of the text on every single word in order to know exactly what was meant, and therefore which Petite Bay variant we should be using. Isn't that right, Doc?
Often these writers don't know what they mean themselves. Their mother tongue simply can't handle such a high degree of precision.
The shades of meaning of individual Petite Bay words are so nuanced that many employees simply cannot grasp them.
Then why don't you ask for help?
I mean, you know yourself the state of the human resources. We'll tell her, Doctor.
So far, no one here has an in-depth command of Petite Bay. Peabody was the only one, and he's joined the Marines.
But you have to speed up the translation process. Look, the world isn't going to come to an end if a word here or there isn't exactly quite right.
Excuse me, Madam Director, but I don't even
Run along. Just a moment, Doctor. A small detail. Tell me, how is Petite Bay actually coming along from a professional point of view?
It's hard to say. So far, I have no statistical data upon which to base an opinion.
Just a moment. What's been the experience in other agencies?
Pretty good on the whole. But having said that, it seems that wherever Petite Bay starts to catch on, it automatically acquires some of the characteristics of the natural language. You know, various emotional overtones, imprecisions, ambiguities. Wouldn't you say so, Tally?
Yup. I've even heard from the boys that the more you use it, the more Petite Bay becomes infected with those very qualities. Emotional overtones, you say. But that means Petite Bay is losing its most fundamentally important quality.
You might say so.
So what can we do to prevent this from happening?
Not much. I'm sorry, Madam Director, but maybe
You're excused. Wait a minute, Tally.
What is it?
Listen, you and I have always been able to talk man to man. So now tell me on a level. And I mean really on a level. Don't you have the feeling that Petite Bay isn't actually working out the way it should? And that frankly speaking, it's holding us back in some way? To tell you the truth, Max, I do. Can I go? Run along. Mr. Grosch.
Yes, Madam Director?
I do hope you aren't taking what happened yesterday seriously. It was more or less for show. I'm gonna call you Andy, okay?
Of course, Madam Director, I'd be delighted.
And anyway... Oh, for Christ's sake, Andy, come out of there. You're not gonna do this kind of work, I mean you. I don't understand why you can't go on being the deputy director.
After everything that's happened...
We all need to take risks for God's sakes. I'm simply not letting you take the fall for this. Right now, we're facing certain difficulties. Nothing is going as well with Petite Bay as it should.
So I've heard.
And in this situation, I need you here. Have a seat. Where's the enthusiasm we all had when we started off with Petite Bay? I went after Petite Bay like a dog after a bone. Didn't sleep, pulled liners, organized, stayed away from booze, wolfed down infinities, and when push came to shove, couldn't even recognize my own brother. Do you remember those days?
Whatever you say.
And it was the best time of my life. And this is how it turned out. We didn't want this to happen.
Don't worry, I'm sure things will sort themselves out
And
somehow.
here's the thing. The two of us, we can put everything back on track. You've got experience from the early days. You know how things were done when they clicked. And I know how things ought to be done to make them click again. So if we join forces, it would take the devil to stop us. Have you got time this evening?
Yes.
So let's go out for a quiet beer and talk this thing through. We'll draw some sort of roadmap for ourselves. Who else can I depend on in this place if I can't depend on you?
But
So now go and get Josh and tell him to step right back into the monitor's position. He did a great job there, and you'll have to understand that right now we need experienced hands at the helm. Ken, all those translations from Petite Pay are coming along?
From Petite Pay, I haven't translated anything yet.
Doctor, why not?
Well, no one has brought me a permit from Principal.
Dr. Principal, why haven't you issued any of the translation permits?
How can I issue permits without the personal documentation?
Tally? And has no one brought you the documentation from Tally?
No one.
Tally, why won't you release that damn documentation?
I can only issue documents when I'm sure they're not in conflict with the conclusions contained in the memoranda, and I don't know what those conclusions are because the memoranda are written in Petite Pay, and I, as you know, am not allowed to translate them. Has that girl brought me my lines yet?
So then why does it matter?
Well, I can only translate with a permit from Principal.
So then Principal has to issue the permit.
I can't do that because no one has the proper materials from
Do
Tally.
you hear that, Tally? You simply have to release the material.
I'm not allowed to translate.
So then why does it matter to translate them?
Well, I can only translate with a permit from Principal.
So then Principal has to issue the permit.
I can't do that because no one has the proper materials from Tally.
You hear that, Tally? You simply have to release the material.
I'm not allowed to translate.
So then why does it matter to translate them?
I can only translate with a permit from Principal.
So then Principal has to issue the
I
permit.
can't do that because no one has the proper materials from Tally.
You hear that, Tally? You simply have to release the material.
I'm not allowed to translate.
I'd be interested to know who thought up of this vicious circle. You did, Madam Director! And what if I did? At the time, the situation was quite different. Back then, it made profound sense. Today, however, we moved on. And therefore, I'm introducing, effective immediately, the following simplifications regarding the existing directives of translation of Petite Pay text. In first place, Tally can't issue the personal documentation without knowing the contents of the memorandum. In second place, Principal can issue the permits without knowing the personal documentation. In third place, Master will no longer require the permits from Principal in order to do his translations. Is that clear? The fact that we can permit ourselves to take such measures is another eloquent proof of the correctness of our approach. And now, translate this for me.
A protest. We, the undersigned employees in the accounts department, strongly protest against the relocation of our offices to the cellar. And we declare that we can no longer work in these conditions in which we find.
You may all go on with your work now.
Do you know what would happen if anyone were to see you here?
I'm not a monitor anymore.
How come?
Well, Bausch made me deputy director again.
Oh, congratulations.
Excuse me? For what? I'd have been better off as a monitor.
I understand. The job ahead won't be pleasant.
Oh, well, let's not talk about that now. Well, enjoy yourself here and drop in to see me sometime.
Mr. Deputy,
Yes?
has anyone translated the thing you wanted to translate yesterday?
The memo? No. And according to the directives in force, no one can translate it for me, and in the end, that's probably a good thing.
Do you think it's bad news?
I've learned to always expect the worst.
Did they find anything wrong when they were doing the performance review?
No, I took a rubber stamp home with me, that's true, but not for my children to play with, which is what they're accusing me of doing.
If you have a clear conscience, you have nothing to fear. You can prove your innocence, but you have to fight for it. I believe that if you don't back down, the truth must always win out.
What do you know of the world? But even so, I hope that you remain just as you are. You know, you have to be firm in life. Unfortunately, I was never very firm. I was always more of an intellectual type. Indecisive, always full of doubts and second thoughts. I always retreated too quickly. I gave in too easily to threats. I was too gullible. If I ever again have any influence on the course of events, I will try to do everything differently. Fewer high-sounding words, more real actions.
you have that memorandum with you?
Surely you don't want to.
I'm an adult and I know what I'm doing. Give it to me. Dear Mr. Director, the most recent performance review in your department has shown that the accusation of systematically purloining the rubber stamp for inappropriate use has turned out to be completely unfounded in your case. On the contrary, it is necessary to point out the highly positive results of this review, which clearly show that you manage your office conscientiously and deserve our full confidence. From the very beginning, you have taken a clear position on the question of petite pay. Our attitude towards that project has always been negative. We consider it a harmful attempt to place official communications on an anti-humanistic basis. We recommend that you liquidate, as rapidly as possible, all efforts to introduce petite pay into your agency and to take strong action against all those who have promoted its use for their own personal gain. We wish you every success. Yours, signature illegible.
Thank you so much, Alice. At long last, I have the opportunity to show that I have more civic courage within me than I've ever been able to demonstrate before. I promise you that this time, I will yield to nothing, even if I risk my very existence by doing so.
Andy, I like you. I like you a lot.
First, Alice, I must earn your affections. Goodbye.
That was a very silly thing you did, Alice.
What are you doing here?
I just came back a while ago, and I don't regret it. You must certainly understand why.
What happened to the limes?
I do understand.
The memorandum that I received has just been translated for me, and it states clearly, not only that I am innocent in the matter of the rubber stamp, but above all, that I am the only authorized director of this agency.
Shelley,
Yes, Madam Director.
weren't you going for peanuts?
May I?
Run along. Brought me some cigarettes. Excuse me. You were saying?
I have been asked to eliminate petite pay at once, and to take strong action against all those who were involved for reasons of personal gain. In other words, history has absolved me.
In a moment, Mr. P. You were saying?
In other words, history has absolved me. The methods that you have used in hijacking this agency and in imposing petite pay upon it cry out for retribution. I'm a humanist in my conception.
Peanuts, sell peanuts.
Thanks, Shelley. You were saying?
I'm a humanist, and my conception of running this agency derives from the idea that every employee is a human being who must become ever more human. Therefore, I must struggle against all those who hold this idea in contempt. This is a struggle for the victory of reason and morality.
In a moment, Mr. P. In a moment. You were saying.
The struggle for the victory of reason and morality is something that I place above peace at any price. And I will wage this struggle against you and everything that you have committed here to the very end. I think that it is untenable for you to remain in this agency. Be good enough to vacate my desk.
Cigarette.
I said, be good enough to remove your things from my desk.
Go on, take one. Next to my friend.
Remove your things from my desk.
After lunch, okay?
I'm glad to see that you're not offering any pointless resistance. After lunch is fine.
Why should I offer any resistance?
You agree with me?
Of course.
You do.
I've seen the light.
You have.
I've seen that Petita Pay is nonsense. I believed in it. I fought for it. Subjectively, I meant well, but objectively, my efforts played a negative role in whether I want to or not. I must bear the consequences. Just a moment, Mr. P.
Do you really mean this? I'm confused by how calmly you're taking this.
I'm taking this calmly because you're harsh, but just words express things that I've tragically felt for some time now. They fill me with a sense of relief that I will no longer be compelled into continuing work I no longer believe in. I wish you luck in eliminating the negative effects of Petita Pay, and I will help you to the extent my modest powers allow. Go ahead.
No thanks. It seems that you've been doing some soul searching.
I have.
Perhaps you have made an honest mistake.
I certainly have.
But what did you mean when you said you were going to help me?
No. Really.
I don't feel like it. What did you mean when you said you were going to help me?
These are quite fantastic.
I see. What did you mean when you said you were going to help me?
If you don't take one, I'll feel insulted. And I meant as your deputy. What else?
There's been something of a misunderstanding here. I said you had to leave this agency.
But surely you wouldn't go that far.
I'm sorry, but this time I intend to be uncompromising. I do not intend to repeat my former mistakes.
Oh, give me a break. I let you stay on as deputy.
That was different. It was I who should have probably been the director. The truth was on my side.
Oh, we all know that now.
It was obvious to me from the very beginning.
Oh, that's so easy. To oppose something from the very beginning. It's far harder to start out supporting something and run the risk you'll end up flat on your face.
But you're still the main culprit here. So pack up your paper clips and get out of here.
And if I don't?
Just get out of here.
Aren't you in a bit of a hurry? Do you see this piece of paper? It's a retroactive order for the introduction of Petita Pay. And if I'm not mistaken, your signature is on it, not mine. Or were you not the director at the time? So who's the main culprit here? Just give me a second, Mr. P. So what do we do now?
This lone signature means absolutely nothing compared to everything you've done.
Unfortunately, in the eyes of history, these signatures are the only things that matter.
Not to mention that you forced me to sign this.
Me? I don't recall.
You know, all those insinuations about the authentication of the logbook.
I wouldn't bring that up if I were you.
Why not?
You mean you still don't get it? If it hadn't been for the incident with the logbook, you could have claimed that you underwrote Petita Pay because you were sincerely convinced it was the right thing to do. Whereas if you bring up the incident with the logbook, you'd be admitting that you introduced Petita Pay out of pure cowardice and to avoid a just reprimand of the logbook. At the same time, if you hadn't signed up on Petita Pay, you could have pretended that you had no idea that your actions within the matter of the logbook was against regulations, while by signing it, you, in fact, admit a full awareness of your guilt. So as you see, both of your misdemeanors are so uniquely intertwined that one of them multiplies the effect of the other. So, can we come to an understanding here?
Then, let's both resign.
As far as I'm concerned, I see no reason why I should resign.
You would really help me with this in a constructive way.
You know, I'm glad that this conversation has finally gotten back on track. I'd be delighted to help you. Go ahead, take one.
You have a lot of experience. You go after things like a terrier. Would you root out Petita Pay like a terrier?
I can't work any other way. Just give me a second, Mr. P!
Someone's got to take the fall for this. You know how people are.
Leave that to me. I'm ready, Mr. P. further, but we feel it is our duty to be the first to draw attention to the irresolvable contradictions connected with its introduction.
Dear friends,
I know very well how desperate the situation was when we got ourselves into with Petita Pay, and I can assure you that it caused me more than one sleepless night. As your director, I've taken upon myself a substantial portion of the blame. We meant well, but we did it badly. We were simply wrong, and now we must bravely bear the consequences, and with redoubled energy struggle, repair all the damages we have done. Firstly, I am resigning myself from the position as director and handing it to the one most qualified, and that is to our colleague, Mr. Grosch. Mr. Grosch has come through the period of Petita Pay with an unblemished record. I myself gratefully accept at the head of Mr. Grosch as his deputy, where I may demonstrate my will to work in the new spirits and thus make amends all the sins I've committed, albeit with the best of intentions. And I now give the floor to our colleague, Mr. Grosch.
What else is there to add? I'm not angry with you. I know that you meant it honestly. This delegation of yours is proof that you're coming in the name of reason and morality. In other words, let bygones be bygones. We won't talk about it anymore. Our main concern now is the future.
Excuse us, Madam Director, but we're not satisfied with such a brief explanation. We have put our lives into struggle for an erroneous goal, and we want to know who was responsible and who benefited. We were cheated. We were fooled. And we have a right to know who fooled us.
Are you going to respond?
Sure. Friends, we are all guilty.
That's not too Fred. We want to know concretely who's responsible. We want you to name names.
Fine. I'll tell you then. All of you may have noticed a mysterious silent man walking about our offices. None of us knew exactly what he was doing here. I got to know this man best because I was under his direct supervision. He was present on every occasion, always cleverly hidden under the cloak of inconspicuousness and quiet servility. And it's no accident that this eminence grise of Petita Pay has worked himself into your delegation, exploiting your decency and trust by diverting all suspicion from himself by wearing the mask of critical attitude towards Petita Pay.
Death in artificial languages! Long live natural human speech! Long live mankind!
Come in!
Hi there, Mr. C. Come on in. This is our new colleague, Mr. Collum. Welcome, Mr. Collum.
So, to finish what I was saying, what matters now is the future. I challenge you all to put your best efforts into the rapid and successful return to the natural language, our mother...
Wait a minute, Andy. Certainly our colleagues are tired, and we can tell them about the future tomorrow. May I suggest we all go to lunch? All in favor? That's what I call a good idea. Bravo! Bring on the goulash. We'll meet in the translation center in 15 minutes. Well, that's that. You must have worked up quite an appetite, Mr. C.
The pace of events seems to have picked up rather rapidly.
Mr. Director.
There was nothing else I could have done. Open resistance would have meant the end of me. This way, as director, I might still be able to salvage something.
Mr. Director.
And where is it written that Balish might not turn into a rather useful person one day? If I make use of her in the right way, I can...
Mr. Director.
What is it?
Back up for lunch.
Run along. Why can't I just be a little boy? I do things quite differently.
You might do everything differently, but you'd end up exactly the same. So who cares?
The basic mistake of Petita Pay was its uncritical overestimation of the significance of redundancy. Redundancy turned into a veritable campaign, became the slogan of the day. But it was overlooked that side by side with a useful redundancy, which indeed lowered the danger of incorrect interpretation of the text. There existed also a useless redundancy, which consisted merely in the mechanical prolongation of the text. In the pursuit of maximum redundancy, some eager clerks inserted within Petita Pay words, already long enough, thank you, even further so-called empty text, thus blindly increasing the percentage of redundancy, so the length of inter-office communications grew up all proportion and sense. Now, I've heard, for example, of a case in which a straightforward military order for toilet seats required 36 single-spaced pages of text. The attempt to achieve maximum differential between words in a sequence increasingly reduced the vocabulary available to continue writing the text, until some cases the author lose all control of the content of his document and simply cannot go writing at all. Now, the new synthetic language, horrorcore, has benefited from all these errors in Petita Pay. Horrorcore no longer attempts to limit the unreliability of the text by seeking words that are dissimilar to one another, but very effectively attains the same objective by, on the contrary, consistently seeking out and organizing words according to their similarities. The more alike the words, the more closely related are their meanings. So that any eventual error in the text would only represent a minuscule deviation from its true meaning. What? It has countless advantages, among the fact that horrorcore is very easy to learn. It's often enough to know a single word from a certain semantic category in order for us to guess, with no further instructions, many other words with a similar meaning.
Sir,
Yes,
could you give us an example of how that works?
of course. In horrorcore, Monday is Elo Pagar. Tuesday is Elo Pagar. Wednesday is Elo Pagur. Thursday is Elo Pagir. Friday is Elo Pagir. And Saturday is Elo Pagur. Now, class, can you tell me what Sunday is? All right, class.
Elo Pagar.
Excellent. Top marks. There. Isn't that easy? And the beauty of it is that the danger of error is quite insignificant. For example, if we have an employee that sends out a notice for a meeting, but instead of writing Elo Pagur, she writes Elo Pagar. This in no way distorts the content or the purpose of the meeting. At the very most, employee will meet on Tuesday rather than Wednesday, which means the meeting would have occurred sooner and the matter they were to discuss would have thus been expedited. Now for
I'm sorry, but I promised the director I would work like a terrier, and I can't break that promise by making any compromises. What's going on next door?
It's Mr. Wasserman's birthday, so his colleagues are giving him a party.
Wasserman? Jim Wasserman, did you hear that, Mr. C? It's Jim's birthday.
Madam Deputy Director,
Yes.
what the hell is going on?
What do you mean?
They started teaching another artificial language.
Horrorcore.
But we agreed that we were going back to our mother tongue for official communications.
I don't recall such agreement.
But my memo states clearly
As
that...
far as I'm concerned, there's nothing in the memorandum that says what kind of language we should be using. Settling our accounts with Petita Pay does not mean we abandon all attempts to introduce exactness and order in our official communications. Am I right, Mr. C?
The way I understood it
You
was...
misunderstood it. It's obvious that you've lived in isolation for so long that you've lost touch with reality. It's tragic. I don't want to have to manage this place for you, but when I see that you are really groping and that you might easily run afoul of opinions against the majority of our employees, I simply have to intervene. Surely you can appreciate that.
Wouldn't it be simpler then if you were to remain the director and I would be your deputy?
I made that call once, I was wrong, and I do not want to repeat it. We all do what suits us. I have certain organizational abilities that I can put to good use as deputy director. You, on the other hand, are capable of bearing the weight of responsibility that is part and parcel of being director. Oh, they are really getting into it now. Let's go join in, Mr. C.
Hey, Andrew.
And what is it?
You didn't tell me that the monitor had come back. He heard and he saw everything.
What do you mean everything?
I mean that I transmitted your memo.
So, what about it?